What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Fireside Giants. I'm your host, Anthony Rivardo, and whoa, the New York Giants just named Jaxson Dart their starting quarterback for Week 4 against the Los Angeles Chargers. The 0-3 New York Giants are desperate to win games and desperate to make changes, and Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen back against the wall. Jobs are on the line. They are making the change. Rookie quarterback Jaxson Dart starting in Week 4. 0-3 with Russell Wilson. Of course, we know Russ didn't look so good in Week 1. Lit it up in Week 2 with a 450-yard outing. And then in Week 3, it was pretty bad once again. And the Giants' offense looks broken. Now going into Week 4, they're going to try and fix it by throwing in the rookie. It's going to be all on Jaxson Dart to save jobs here. And I don't really think that's fair to Jaxson Dart. I have a lot of thoughts on that, but I can't lie. I have to admit, I'm really excited to see him play. I thought Jaxson Dart looked fantastic during the preseason. He definitely looked ready for an NFL regular season, in my opinion. And when you look at the build that he has, the confidence and the moxie that he plays with, his accuracy, his ability to make plays with his legs, to get off script, he has a lot of things that he can throw into the Giants offense that Russell Wilson simply could not provide. Russ, 36 years old, at this stage in his career is not a very mobile quarterback, was very much a pocket passer. And when he did try and scramble, did try and run, yeah, he could pick up some yards here or there, but he's not a threat with his legs by any means. With Jaxson Dart, he can be pretty threatening with his legs. That's why the New York Giants put him out there on a few zone reads in those packages of plays that they had for him in Week 2 and in Week 3. He handed the ball off mostly. He hasn't taken his first career passing attempt just yet. However, he has had some success in the running game by opening up lanes for guys like Cam Scatterbo in Week 2. That big scamper down the middle, down to the 1-yard line. Well, that really was set up by Jaxson Dart being on the field and pulling that linebacker out of position. That's one element that Jaxson Dart's going to add to the offense. Another one, though, he could throw over the middle of the field, and he throws over the middle of the field with confidence, right? And that's something that we haven't seen this season. The overwhelming majority of Russell Wilson's passing attempts have been on the boundary, towards the sideline. Malik Neighbors, I don't even think he's caught a pass over the middle of the field on a dig or anything like that yet this season, outside of the moon balls downfield. So expect the Giants' passing offense to get a little bit more creative. Expect their rushing attack to include the quarterback, and expect to see Jaxson Dart fire some shots into some windows across the middle of the field. I'm really excited about this, man. Listen, I wanted Russ to be good with the Giants so bad. I really wanted to see the New York Giants make the playoffs with Russell Wilson like we all kind of dreamed of. I wanted to see all of these dreams come true. But at the end of the day, those were dreams, and the expectations were never going to meet reality. And the reality is the New York Giants are a bad football team. They're 0-3. You are what your record says you are. That's what Bill Parcells famously said many years ago, right? And so now when you're looking at this team, the direction that they're heading in, it just gets worse and worse and worse. The only way to potentially turn a franchise around, as we've seen around the league in recent years, you got to get the quarterback right. And what we know about Russell Wilson, was he an upgrade in some ways over what the Giants had at times last year with guys like Drew Lock and Tim Boyle in the lineup? Sure, yeah, he was an upgrade, but is he the right answer at quarterback? Well, I think we learned pretty quickly that he wasn't necessarily the right answer. Now, I'll be the first to tell you, I think Russ was in many ways the least of the Giants' problems on offense. Their inability to block in the running game was a major issue. Their play calling in the red zone has been an utter atrocity through 3 weeks. They have a lot of problems on offense, and this is where I'm worried for Jaxson Dart. No quarterback is stepping in and fixing all of these problems. Jaxson Dart is not making the run blocking better. He's not making the pass protection better. He's not making the red zone play calling better. He's not fixing any drops that you have from guys like Theo Johnson, Tyrone Tracy, obviously out of the lineup now, but there's been key drops throughout the games. Jaxson Dart is not fixing all of these problems for the New York Giants. But can he flash enough? Can he make enough plays here or there in the clutch to improve the Giants' ability to win football games? Yeah, possibly. He potentially could make that much of an impact. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to turn the Giants' season around. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs now. I don't think they're going to win a whole bunch of games. But what they're going to try to do is save jobs. That's what this is boiling down to. And when you're looking at Brian Daboll here, 0-3, he's had a lot of losing over the last couple of years, and his job is on the line. The only way that he could extend his stay in the Big Apple would be to put Jaxson Dart in the lineup. If Jaxson Dart shows something, flashes some potential, has some really good performances, well, then the narrative could shift. Brian Dable could say, hey, look, I just needed the quarterback that I drafted in the lineup. Now I can start to win some games. It could be too little too late. It could be a bridge that he sells that nobody buys, or it could be true. Maybe the Giants do turn things around with Jaxson Dart in the lineup. Now it's possible. And that's something that I'm looking forward to getting our answers to. So I can't wait to watch Jaxson Dart play. I'm excited for him to get the ball to Malik Neighbors. Hey, man, on Sunday afternoon, the Giants are going to lose to the Chargers more likely than not. But that first Jaxson Dart to Malik Neighbors reception, well, that's going to get me giddy. I cannot wait to see that. So I'm really thrilled about everything that we've seen from Jaxson Dart throughout the summer. He, again, just plays with a confidence and a moxie that I don't think any other quarterback that's been on the New York Giants roster over the last 3 seasons has had. So some of the things that you guys should know about Jaxson Dart before you see him make his first start, some strengths, some weaknesses. Well, number one, the confidence is his biggest strength. He plays with that same mentality that you see many of the top quarterbacks in the NFL play with, where he's going to take hits, he's going to fire the ball in the tight windows, he might throw picks, but he's going to throw touchdowns, and he's going to play with a fearless mentality at all times. And that's something you got to love. And that's something you're going to see show up pretty early for Jaxson Dart. Another strength, he's mobile. When I watched him at Ole Miss, one of the things I saw frequently was his ability, when the play broke down, to get off script, scramble around, and make throws under pressure and outside of the pocket. So he can extend plays and he can make plays on his own. And again, not to totally just compare and contrast here, but Russell Wilson at this stage of his career, he doesn't have the ability to make plays on his own. Russ is not a playmaker. Jaxson Dart potentially could be a playmaker. So that's another top strength for Jaxson Dart. He does throw the long ball exceptionally well. Yeah, Russell Wilson has the patented moon ball that everybody glorifies and that he has made his career off of and made a Hall of Fame resume off of, the elite deep accuracy that he has. But that's not to say that Jaxson Dart's going to reach those levels, but he does throw the deep ball at an elite level. At least he did during his time at Ole Miss. He's got a gun on him. He could throw the ball with plenty of velocity, and he is super accurate when throwing downfield. Now, another thing that you need to know about Jaxson Dart is he's never played in a pro-style offense. That's kind of a weakness, but in some ways it's going to also benefit the New York Giants, and I'll explain what I mean. So he's probably not going to make 3-level reads. He's probably not going to get to his 3rd or 4th read on the other side of the field. He's not going to survey the defense and know how to go through his progressions as well as Russell Wilson can. But what he is going to do is get the ball out really quickly to his first read. And we've seen quarterbacks around the league have a lot of success in RPO-style offenses where if that first read is open and you hit it, you're going to get that chunk yardage and you're going to move the football. Jaxson Dart's going to have that ability, and he already has that comfort. During his time at Ole Miss, they ran a lot of RPOs. He had the ability to hand it off or pull it, run himself, or make the throw. And those quick decisions haven't been there for the New York Giants through the first 3 weeks of the season. There's been a lot of slow pace with the offense. But like I said, Jaxson Dart, very quick decision maker, very comfortable in that quick passing offense that the New York Giants are running. He throws really good screen passes. I know it's not crazy to say it's throwing the ball behind the line of scrimmage, but he's able to throw from different arm angles, and he's able to get the ball out really quickly to open up that yards after the catch passing game. But also on those RPOs, he can throw into those tight windows over the middle and just make a lot of those plays on his own. So expect to see the Giants offense shift. Yes, they're going to take some shots downfield. Dart's going to rip it deep, but they're going to have a lot of RPOs mixed in there, a lot of zone read options as well, and just a lot of quick game offense here for the New York Giants with Jaxson Dart. Another flaw potentially that you might find in his game, though, there are opportunities for defenses to trick him. And we're going up against the Los Angeles Chargers on Sunday. Jesse Minter is one of the best defensive coordinators in football. He knows what he's doing, and he does know how to disguise coverages and trip up young quarterbacks. Expect Jaxson Dart to probably get baited into a couple of errant throws and get tricked here or there because he doesn't have experience facing pro-style defenses, let alone playing in a pro-style offense. So when it comes to playing under pressure, he can be a little bit erratic. He's had some really bright moments under pressure. He's had some really dim moments under pressure. So that's going to be something that they need to develop for Jaxson Dart. But at the end of the day, like I said, this is a desperate move from head coach Brian Dable and general manager Joe Schoen. This is a move that you make in week 4 only because you need to save your jobs and you're feeling pressure from ownership. So if they don't turn things around, no matter who is starting at quarterback in the next few weeks, if they still are winless, this is basically a precursor to a firing, in my opinion. So even if Jaxson Dart looks great for the next 3 weeks, but the Giants don't have a win, you'll probably see Brian Daboll hit the door in his ass and he'll be walking out of the stadium without his key card. That's probably what you can see. So this is step one. Now, if Jaxson Dart steps in there and the Giants go on a win streak, of course, Brian Daboll is going to extend his stay with the New York Giants. But again, this is a little bit of a precursor. This is a desperate move from the head coach, in my opinion. But then again, Jaxson Dart is ready to play, and the Giants told us when he's ready, they will play him. So it's the Jaxson Dart era now. I can't wait for it. I'm super excited, and I'm a huge fan of Jaxson Dart, as you all know. Back in January, I said he could be the steal of the NFL draft. In April, the New York Giants drafted him, and now here we are in September on the 23rd, and he is their starter. So I'm thrilled about it. I can't wait. I have high expectations for Jaxson Dart. I think it's going to be a bumpy road to start his career, but I do think eventually there are all the tools and the traits. There is all the potential for this kid to be a really good quarterback at the NFL level. And I'm hoping he is the New York Giants' next franchise quarterback. So the Jaxson Dart era has begun. Guys, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Are you excited? Do you think this is a desperation move? Are you pissed off about it? All of your thoughts, drop them down below in the comment section. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, ring the bell so you don't miss an episode, and comment your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you listen to Apple or Spotify, make sure you leave us a 5-star review and go ahead and follow us on all of our social media channels at Fireside Giants. Without further ado, I'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one, and let's go, Jaxson Dart.
Perfect.